Part 18. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yun Suya. Chapter 171. Chapter 171. She wants to take first place. Xia Ying frowned. Although she was full of questions, she still didn't ask. Yu Lingfeng's face looked ugly, and he probably wouldn't say anything more if asked. On the way home, Yu Lingfeng kept a straight face and didn't say a word. Even if Xia Ying spoke to him, he would reply calmly. Xia Ying sighed silently. She always felt that Yu Lingfeng was hiding many things from her. However, she wanted to ask, but she didn't know where to start. The last time Yu Lingfeng went to the old man to tell his fortune, what was it for? Xia Ying didn't know all this, and she really had too many questions about Yu Lingfeng. After Xia Ying returned home, Luo Xian and Xia Menjian were both there. Hey, Menjian, why didn't you bring the necklace I bought you last time? Luo Xian noticed that Xia Menjian's neck was empty, so she asked casually. Xia Menjian was stunned for a long time, and then explained, I put it away because it was too valuable and I was afraid of losing it. Ahem, you kid, why are you still so frugal now? Luo Xian said angrily. Xia Ying was reading a magazine aside and said nothing, but there was an imperceptible smile on her lips. She saw that Xia Menjian's necklace was probably sold and the money was remitted to her mother. However, Xia Menjian probably didn't expect that her money was lying safely in Xia Ying's bank card at the moment. At this time, Xia Ying's eyes fell on a piece of news in the magazine. Santiago International Music Competition. Xia Ying's eyes fell on these words, and then they suddenly lit up. Xia Ying clenched her fists. She wanted to compete. She remembered that she had also participated in this competition in her previous life, but at that time she was focused on Hanzija and had slacked off a lot in practicing her instrument. Moreover, during the competition, Xia Ying also had a conflict with Hanzija because Hanzija always thought she was clingy. Therefore, Xia Ying's results in the previous life were not ideal, only 9th place. In this life, she must be first. This international competition is held every 3 years and young people aged 13 to 25 can participate. This competition is the Olympics of music, and it is very authoritative. As long as you get a good ranking in this competition, you will basically become famous internationally. In the future, the musical path will become wider and wider. Moreover, there is an even more important point. The winner of the competition will become the closest disciple of the music master Modzi. Modzi is the most famous music master in the music industry today. He has been called a music prodigy since he was a child. The music he composed has only been performed in the world's top opera houses and concert halls. He is known as the modern Mozart, and he is also a close disciple of the world's top music master Santiago, the founder of this competition. Becoming his apprentice is every musician's dream. Therefore, Xia Ying will definitely go all out in this game. During the break between classes, Xia Ying was bored and picked up her mobile phone to start browsing entertainment news. But Jun Chennai has become a lot more honest recently. He seems to be stimulated by the results of the last exam. This guy is now immersed in studying every day. Although, Xia Ying didn't find any substantial changes brought about by studying so hard. At this time, Ye Xiaoxun came over with a bunch of papers, which were the mathematics papers that had just been taken yesterday. I have to say that teacher Limu has become more and more efficient in correcting papers. He corrected the papers in half a day and handed them out. Happy Lantern Festival, little cuties. End of this chapter. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yun Suya. Chapter 172. Chapter 172. Are you dating Yu Lingfeng behind my back? Additional updates for rewards. Ye Xiaoxun was handing out papers one by one, but Xia Ying was shocked by the hot search on Weibo. Then, the following series of related reports. Xia Ying is suspected of having a new love interest, and her looks are as good as Jun Chanaya's. The suspected love affair of the chivalrous couple fell apart, and the woman had a tryst with a mysterious man. Is the relationship over, or is it the end of the relationship? Netizens actually filmed Xia Ying dating a mysterious man, acting ambiguously. Jun Chanai was cheated? Xia Ying actually had an affair with a mysterious man. Although the pictures below are very blurry and the facial features cannot be clearly seen, I deliberately captured a few pictures that are thought-provoking. In the photo, Xia Ying and Yu Lingfeng do look ambiguous. Xia Ying only felt 3 black lines on her forehead. This was to kill 11 Ju and then hype her and Yu Lingfeng. It's so heartbreaking. Didn't she just go to the coffee shop with Yu Lingfeng Zihu? How come she fell in love with Jun Chanai? She and Jun Chanai have nothing to do with each other, right? Xia Ying was so angry that she gritted her teeth, and suddenly looked at Jun Chanai. Jun Chanai subconsciously froze and looked sideways at Xia Ying's murderous eyes. It's all your fault. Jun Chanai looked confused and looked down at Xia Ying's test paper. Wak, are you not satisfied with 148? Let me show you my. Jun Chanai thought Xia Ying was talking about scores, so he simply moved his test paper towards Xia Ying. Did I say anything, young master? You are still angry, and I have even regressed a little. Is he the one who should be angry? What's more, what does it have to do with him if she gets 148? Why is it his fault? Who told you this? Xia Ying threw her phone on Jun Chanai's desk. Take a good look at it yourself. Jun Chanai frowned and looked at Xia Ying's mobile phone screen. Then, Jun Chanai's brows furrowed deeper and deeper. After finishing reading, Jun Chanai raised his head and looked at Xia Ying with gloomy eyes. His face was like an iceberg that lasted 10,000 years, so cold and expressionless that it made people look away. You don't have anything to say, Xia Ying said angrily. If you hadn't talked nonsense on the internet before, I would have been so blackmailed now. Look at what those idiot fans of yours said. It's ugly. I asked you to clarify it a long time ago, but you refused to go. Now it's okay, thanks to you. I have closed the comments on Weibo. Jun Chanai put the phone back on Xia Ying's desk and said with a cold face, are you dating Yu Lingfeng behind my back? Ha! Xia Ying was speechless. First of all, Yu Lingfeng and I have something to discuss, not a date. Second, even if it's a date, why do we say we're behind your back? First, what can you and that person have to discuss? Second, Jun Chanai curled his lips and chuckled, then paused. Now everyone on the internet knows that you are my fiancé. Do you think you are, carrying me behind your back? Xia Ying rolled her eyes and said, Jun Chanai, please stop making trouble unreasonably. Please issue a statement to clarify our relationship immediately. Clarify what? What I said is the truth. Jun Chanai turned his pen and spoke slowly. Xia Ying was so angry that she couldn't speak. You can't say what you want to say. Why are you begging me to go? Jun Chanai deliberately provoked her. Xia Ying rolled her eyes. This guy did it on purpose. She had explained clearly on the internet before, but Jun Chanai came back to add more exciting information. Later, Xia Ying's clarification was of no use. Jun Chanai is determined to confront her. Thanks to the little cutie, send a dream for the reward. This is an additional update for the reward. There will be another chapter updated later. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yuan Suya. Chapter 173. Chapter 173, Which Boss Did It? Jun Chanai, do you think it's fun to slander my reputation? Xia Ying calmed down and said with a livid face. The sudden change in Xia Ying's expression made Jun Chanai stunned. He also restrained his previous cynicism and said seriously, as long as you stay away from Yu Lingfeng, won't everything be fine? That's right, he did it on purpose. He knew that Xia Ying would not listen to his words and alienate Yu Lingfeng, so he could only use this despicable method to force Xia Ying to stay away from Yu Lingfeng. Why should I listen to you? Xia Ying turned away angrily and ignored Jun Chenai. Jun Chenai raised his eyebrows and looked sideways at Xia Ying. Is she angry? Don't worry, I won't let your reputation be damaged. Jun Chenai spoke slowly, then took out his mobile phone from his pocket, preparing to send a clarifying Weibo to explain that Xia Ying had nothing to do with the two mysterious men. Then, he opened Weibo and found that the news that was on the hot search list just now suddenly disappeared. Instead, it was a red carpet incident involving a certain actress. Jun Chenai frowned. Were the hot searches so fast? Impossible. How could his Jun Chenai's flow rate expire so quickly? Jun Chenai subconsciously searched for it, but unexpectedly, it was gone. Why did the news that was overwhelming just now disappear in an instant? Jun Chenai logged out of Weibo again and searched for keywords on the web page, only to find that not a single relevant report was missing. I can't even find the photos. Damn it, who did this? It was so powerful that the entire network was cleared within a few minutes, leaving no trace behind. It's like it never happened. Jun Chenai took a look at Xia Ying's Weibo again, and all the vicious comments there were gone. Obviously, the other party is helping Xia Ying. Jun Chenai glanced at Xia Ying, who was still angry. This girl definitely didn't know. So, who could have done this? Jun Chenai squinted his eyes. This matter is not simple. At this moment, in a certain castle. Master, I've done everything. Ziyu jumped up and walked towards Yu Lingfeng, who was sitting on the sofa reading a book, and said with a smile. Yu Lingfeng nodded slightly. As well as the photos taken by those girls that day, I have also processed them and destroyed them all. 11 Ju then asked for credit. Yu Lingfeng's expression was calm. 11 Ju pursed his lips and said weakly in a low voice, Master, can I go out to play? Yu Lingfeng raised his eyes and turned a page of the book in his hand. Is this all you can do? Oh, Master, 11 Ju said with a sad face, it's really boring here. I'm almost bored. If I stay here any longer, my core machine will age. I really don't know how the master can bear it. It's just right for replacement. Yu Lingfeng answered. Ziyu was stunned for a moment, then waved his hand quickly. No, 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 no. I just came back yesterday, and you like going out so much. Yu Lingfeng doesn't quite understand the logic behind why Ziyu, a robot, likes to hang out so much. He remembered that he did not design such characteristics for him because he developed too unscrupulously. 11 Ju was speechless for a moment, then thought of something, blinked, and said with a smile, I just can do something meaningful. For example, such as investigating words. No need, you don't have the ability. For example, let's find out what Sakura has been up to recently. I know. Well, for example, such as. Yu Lingfeng lowered his eyes and said leisurely, for example, your favorite comic has a new one. End of this chapter. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yuan Suya. Chapter 174. Chapter 174 completely cleared. Forward. Ziyu choked when his thoughts were revealed, and stared at Yu Lingfeng angrily. This is a rare classic collector's edition. Don't miss it, otherwise it will be sold out by others. 11 Ju felt entangled in his heart. Go. Yu Lingfeng waved his hand. Ha, thank you, master. After receiving the order, 11 Ju disappeared in a flash. Yu Lingfeng shook his head helplessly. Some time ago, Xia Ying's negative news was suddenly removed from the shelves, and the entire network was cleared, and there was no trace at all. All the previous scandals with Jun Chennai were gone. No one knew what happened, not even the media. What's even more amazing is that they tried to send it again, but it was cleared in seconds. It disappeared all of a sudden. What a ghost. Could it be that Xia Ying is supported by some big boss, a super big family that is even more powerful than the Xia family? Apart from this reason, they couldn't think of any other better explanation. Xia Ying initially thought it was Xia Chuanhai who did it, but then she asked. Xia Chuanhai said no, but he did have such intention, but before he had time to take action, everything had been solved. Xia Chuanhai originally didn't want Xia Ying to be infected with the messy atmosphere of the entertainment industry. In his opinion, Xia Ying was just a child. The media, who are involved in this scandal and this scandal every day, are completely idle. In order to attract clicks and spread rumors about Jun Chennai, a super hot topic, they really resorted to any means. He is just a teenager. How can he have so many complicated thoughts and still have two things to do? Xia Chuanhai got angry just looking at it. Although the internet is now clean, Xia Chuanhai still gave the media an ultimatum just in case. If they dare to make nonsense again in the future, he will cause them to close down. Xia Ying was still a little touched when she saw Xia Chuanhai's actions. It's just that she never said it out loud. However, after all, Xia Ying is Xia Chuanhai's biological child, and he watched her grow up. Although she didn't say anything, Xia Chuanhai knew what she was thinking. Xia Chuanhai knew that Xia Ying didn't like Jun Chennai, but the media always tied them together to speculate on CP. Xia Ying was annoyed by this. Therefore, Xia Chuanhai, who never had a Weibo account, applied for a Weibo account, and his first Weibo post was to clarify the relationship between Xia Ying and Jun Chennai. The parents of both parties do have this intention, but it has nothing to do with the children. Children have the freedom to do whatever they want and we will respect that. In addition, Xia Ying's current focus is on study and music, and she does not have time for puppy love. I hope everyone understands this. Xia Ying looked at Xia Chuanhai's long Weibo post, writing each word carefully. He also mentioned that Xia Ying and Jun Chennai were just good friends, and Jun Chennai said that before only to protect Xia Ying. Anyway, Xia Chuanhai's long Weibo post completely cleared Xia Ying's name. Why do you say that? Because Xia Chuanhai was very scheming and had a crush on Jun Chennai. As a junior, Jun Chennai must give Xia Chuanhai face. You can't deny his point of view, not to mention that he doesn't have a good reason to refute it. I just forwarded it silently and regarded it as the default. After Jun Chennai forwarded it, he threw his phone away and started tumbling on the bed. Wak, so annoying. As for Muni Ankai, after seeing Weibo, she jumped around the room happily. Now, brother Chennai is hers again, haha. End of this chapter. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yun Suya. Chapter 175. Chapter 175. I want to ask you a favor. At night, Xia Menjian was lying on the bed, thinking about her future plans. Xia Chuanhai means to hire a tutor for her so that she can study at home and take the college entrance examination to get into a good university. As for what happened at the party, the school announced that it was a performance accident. Xia Chuanhai also explained the incident on Weibo. Xia Chuanhai told everyone that Xia Menjian is just a teenager. Now she has dropped out of school because of the incident and has been hacked by the entire network. Please let it go. Moreover, Xia Menjian is the daughter of the Xia family, so there is no reason for her to become famous because she has no intention of entering the entertainment industry. Xia Chuanhai is always an eloquent leader. As soon as he made such a statement, people on the internet immediately began to sympathize with Xia Menjian. Xia Ying also read Xia Chuanhai's statement, but did not like it or help retweet it. She knew that Xia Menjian must be very proud at the moment, and her father was also smart. When Xiamenjian's incident first came out, there were no clearing actions, but now the heat is almost over. Then he brought it up, described Xiamenjian's current miserable situation, and then analyzed the existing problems in depth, thus successfully clearing Xiamenjian's name. Xiamenjian was transformed from a scheming rich man who wanted to be popular and did everything possible to the image of a poor daughter who was framed and falsely accused and complained about. I have to say that Xia Chuanhai's move was really brilliant. Inexplicably, the topic netizens owe Xiamenjian an apology suddenly topped the hot search list on Weibo. Xiamenjian's Weibo account was also leaked, and her number of fans increased sharply. Those who had blackmailed her all came out to apologize. Xia Ying held the phone and pursed her lips. She could imagine Xiamenjian's current mood. However, Xiamenjian will soon taste the feeling of falling from heaven to hell. Xia Ying called Yu Lingfeng. What's wrong? Yu Lingfeng answered the phone quickly. Yu Lingfeng, can you ask 11 Ju to answer the phone? Yu Lingfeng frowned and looked at 11 Ju who was charging in the corner. 11 Ju's eyes widened suddenly. The look in his master's eyes was not quite right. Yu Lingfeng hooked his finger at Zihu. Zihu stopped charging and walked towards Yu Lingfeng. Master, what's wrong? 11 Ju said weakly, he didn't seem to have done anything bad. Xia Ying's phone number. Yu Lingfeng handed the phone to 11 Ju, who swallowed and took it. Hey, Sakura, what do you want from me? Zihu sat on the sofa, while Yu Lingfeng continued to read a book with an expressionless face. Zihu, you can imitate other people's voices, right? Xia Ying remembered that the last time 11 Ju imitated Dr. Thompson's voice, it was exactly the same. That's why she wanted to ask him for help. Yes. 11 Ju nodded and deliberately imitated Xia Ying's voice. Xia Ying on the other end of the phone listened blankly for a while, and then exclaimed, Zihu, you are so amazing. Hey hey. 11 Ju also laughed. Yu Lingfeng raised his eyebrows but said nothing. Well, I want to ask you a favor. What? Let's keep it secret for now, I'll contact you when the time comes. Good. 11 Ju nodded and Xia Ying hung up the phone. Remember to tell me. Yu Lingfeng raised his eyes and looked at 11 Ju. Ah. Zihu was at a loss. It took him a while to realize what Yu Lingfeng meant. Don't worry, master, I will definitely tell you, I just don't know what Sakura wants to do. 11 Ju tilted his head and thought for a while. Thanks to the little cuties and look up, the sun is still warm for the rewards. Xiao is going to school tomorrow. She is so excited. Have you started school yet? End of this chapter. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yun Suya. Chapter 176. Chapter 176. Xiamenjian won't be able to laugh for long. Xiamenjian felt much better after seeing the outpouring of apologies from netizens on Weibo. This time, she finally succeeded in clearing her name. And invisibly, she attracted the sympathy of the entire network. This night, Xiamenjian slept particularly soundly. After taking the vocal class, Mu Niankai read Weibo and then called Xia Ying angrily. Hello. Xia Ying is practicing the piano at the moment. Xia Ying, have you read Weibo? Xia Ying frowned. Mu Niankai. How come you have my mobile phone number? That's not the point. The point is, have you read Weibo? Have you seen what your stupid dad posted, and he actually whitewashed Xiamenjian? Oh my god. A woman like her actually still can I clear my name? Can I gain sympathy? Did you see that hot search list? I think I owe Xiamenjian a slap in the face. Calm down, I've read everything you said. Xia Ying chuckled. Then you can still laugh. Mu Niankai was puzzled. I just can't stand by Lianhua. I want to tell the truth about her. I told you to calm down, Xia Ying interrupted Mu Niankai, not to mention that you don't have any previous evidence. Besides, I have my own thoughts. Xia Menjian won't be able to laugh for long. Huh, Mu Niankai frowned in confusion. What do you think? Are you planning to bring her down? Otherwise, why would you keep it? Xia Ying left the piano and said as she walked, don't act rashly recently, and don't cause trouble for Xia Menjian. Mu Niankai curled her lips and said, you have aroused my curiosity. What do you want to do? I can't talk to you more. Xia Ying hung up the phone after saying that. Mu Niankai couldn't hold back her anger and told her. The secret might be revealed. What's more, she can't help much in this matter. Mu Niankai threw her phone angrily. Huh, good intentions are not rewarded. And it whets her appetite. Xia Menjian was sleeping soundly when the phone rang in the middle of the night. Hello. Xia Menjian answered the phone with sleepy eyes. What are you feeding me? Where's the money? Where's my money? Don't you understand what I'm saying? It's been a few days, are you going to starve your mother to death? Hearing these shrill female voices, Xia Menjian suddenly woke up. Mom, what do you mean? I didn't just give you money, I have already given you money 3 times this month. Are you pretending not to know on purpose? Pretending to be a grandson, you are giving money to a ghost, right? My pocket is cleaner than my face now, and you still say you are giving me money? Did you dream of giving me money? Mom, don't go too far. Okay, do you want me to show you the remittance information sent by the bank? Xia Menjian said that she took a screenshot of the remittance information and sent it to Xiao Yanhong's QQ. Mom, go check QQ yourself, I've already called you 100,000 yuan this month. Xia Menjian said angrily, her eyes turning red with anger. Xiao Yanhong opened QQ doubtfully, and sure enough she saw the screenshot sent by Xia Menjian. Xiao Yanhong's face turned dark. You girl, in order not to give me money, you still forged pictures to show me. Where did I forge? Find someone to identify it yourself. Xia Menjian clenched her fists, her long nails digging into her flesh. Identification? I'm penniless now, how can I get the money to do such a leisurely thing? Xiao Yanhong roared, hurry up and give me money, otherwise I will starve to death soon. The Xia family is such a big piece of fat, whatever, just a little bit of oil is enough for me to survive. Is it easy for me to give birth to you, you white-eyed wolf? Xiao Yanhong hung up the phone. End of this chapter. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yuan Suya. Chapter 177. Chapter 177. I suspect Xia Ying knows something. Xia Menjian buried her head in the quilt and shed tears silently. She bit her lower lip tightly, and her shoulders trembled slightly. She had obviously given her money, but she was still so dissatisfied. Besides, the Xia family is rich, but the money they send her doesn't come randomly. Didn't she think about how difficult it was for her? Something big happened to her some time ago, and she was criticized by the whole internet. She didn't even make a condolence call, she just asked for money. Xia Menjian, I can't stand her anymore. After crying for a long time, Xia Menjian began to think deeply. Why did Xiao Yanhong repeatedly say that she had not received the money? Xia Menjian picked up her phone again. Xiao Yanhong had sent her pictures and messages a few minutes ago. Please show me clearly. Where is the remittance record? The balance has never increased. Xia Menjian wiped her tears. What on earth is going on? Could it be said that Xia Ying did it? No, how could it be possible? How could Xia Ying know that Xiao Yanhong was still alive? She didn't reveal anything, right? Xia Menjian decided to go to the bank tomorrow to check for herself where her money went. However, when Xia Menjian went to the bank to check the next day, it showed that the money had indeed been transferred to Xiao Yanhong's account. When Xiaomenjian asked to show them the so-called screenshot evidence, the bank staff said she was being unreasonable and kicked her out. Xiaomenjian walked down the street angrily. It must have been Xia Ying. She must have colluded to do everything. But, when did this woman find out? Xiaomenjian was a little panicked. Since she already knew, why didn't she tell her? What on earth was she waiting for? Xiaomenjian suddenly had a faint bad feeling in her heart. Mom, please be careful lately. I suspect Xia Ying knows something. She may have done something with the money. Xiaomenjian sent a QQ message, but she didn't know if Xiao Yanhong would read it. Because Xiao Yanhong usually doesn't read her messages, and she rarely uses QQ. Xiaomenjian sighed and walked on the street with a lonely look. When school is over at noon, Xia Ying plans to go to the old-time cafe. She wonders if the business of Grandpa Shi's family has improved after what happened last time. Just as Xia Ying turned a corner and walked into an alley, she witnessed a group of girls beating several girls. Xia Ying frowned. Aren't those girls subordinates to Mu Niankai? Xia Ying looked carefully and saw Mu Niankai biting a lollipop and watching the show. Xia Ying frowned, feeling helpless, and walked towards Mu Niankai. Stop! Xia Ying shouted. Mu Niankai and the others turned to look at Xia Ying. Mu Niankai, why are you bullying people again? Have you forgotten what you promised before? Xia Ying looked unhappy. Mu Niankai held the candy and shrugged. What do you know? These women spread rumors everywhere that Xiaomenjian was harmed by me. Mu Niankai said. She was so angry that she went over and kicked her twice. This young lady is really surprised. Do you have any evidence and just spit on others? Are you Xiaomenjian's dogs? Then get out of here with her. Xia Ying glanced at the girls on the ground. Sure enough, they were the ones who had a good relationship with Xiaomenjian in the past. Probably because he read the messy things on Weibo, he felt that Mu Niankai was so good with Xiaomenjian before, but now he has turned against her, so he said that Mu Niankai framed Xiaomenjian. After all, it's not unusual for Mu Niankai to do this kind of thing. Just arrived at school, so the update is a bit late, sorry. End of this chapter. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yuan Suya. Chapter 178. Chapter 178. Be more honest these 2 months. Forget it. Xia Ying glanced at the girls on the ground and said, that's what you mean, don't beat them too much. Mu Niankai's temper doesn't matter when it comes to severity. Besides, her group of girls are all little gangsters, and they don't know how to show mercy at all when they get into fights. He would hit wherever he wanted, and he would hit the cheeks that girls cherished more. Although spreading rumors is really abominable, Mu Niankai beat them until their noses were bruised and their faces were swollen and they could no longer be seen. The parents of these girls would probably come to the school to make trouble. If they shake Mu Niankai out in anger, this girl will no longer have to stay in Guanyang. I hate this kind of person the most. Mu Niankai went over and kicked them twice before angrily telling them to get out. The girls immediately rolled away and ran away. Xia Ying raised her lips and chuckled, looking at Mu Niankai, who was full of anger, and teased, Miss Mu, have you finally tasted what I felt like before? Mu Niankai raised her eyebrows and looked at Xia Ying. Xia Ying continued, isn't that what you were like before? You just made empty statements, listened to other people's slanders, and started spreading rumors. Hearing what Xia Ying said, Mu Niankai suddenly blushed with guilt and did not dare to look directly at Xia Ying. That was, I didn't mean it. Besides, didn't I make up for it? Mu Niankai hesitated. Xia Ying curled her lips and did not continue the topic. You should restrain yourself in the future and beat up others easily. Be careful of others causing trouble in the future. Xia Ying left a meaningful word and passed by Mu Niankai. The reason why she said this was to remind Mu Niankai. Xia Ying remembered that Mu Niankai was too arrogant in her last life and she didn't know who offended some big shot. Later, someone caused trouble and asked someone to give Mu Niankai a severe lesson. In her last life, Mu Niankai has become even more arrogant and domineering since then. There are also many bodyguards around her. Mu Niankai is the kind of person who becomes more courageous the more frustrated she is. The more he confronts her, the more she resists. Later, Mu Niankai simply became a gangster, and was eventually led astray by a group of people. She embarked on a path of no return and was imprisoned. The daughter of the Mu family, a musical family in the Tang and Tang dynasties, ended up in prison, which is also a pity. Xia Ying knew that Mu Niankai was not a bad person, but her personality was extreme and her brain was not very easy to use. If taught well, he is also a talent in the music industry. However, I don't know if this girl will listen to her advice. Hey, Xia Ying, what are you talking about? Who dares to cause trouble for me? Unless you are tired of living. Mu Niankai crossed her arms, looking arrogant. Xia Ying was helpless when she heard this and stopped. If she remembers correctly, Mu Niankai will soon be taught a lesson. Xia Ying turned her head, looked at Mu Niankai behind her, and said, Mu Niankai, listen to my advice. Be honest these 2 months and don't cause trouble. Otherwise, there will be unexpected disasters. Mu Niankai chuckled and said, Xia Ying, don't act so nervous, like a fortune teller. Mu Niankai was smiling. Looking at Xia Ying's serious face, her smile froze, then slowly weakened, and finally turned into a puzzled expression. Why did she feel that Xia Ying's appearance made her doubtless for a moment? Some people actually say that Xia Menjian is not bad in nature. Ahem, you are still too naive. Have you all forgotten how Xia Menjian harmed the heroine in her previous life? I wrote about all kinds of bad things about Xia Menjian's mother, not to whitewash her, but just to show that a person will not become bad for no reason. After all, I still believe that people are inherently good by nature. What's more, Xia Menjian's mother is not a kind person to begin with. Xia Menjian's tragic ending is doomed. She cannot choose her origin, but she can change her life. She walked her own path, and she will get the retribution she deserves, that's all. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yuan Suya. Chapter 179. Chapter 179. Are you here to see Grandpa Shi too? With Xia Ying's help last time, the business of the old-time cafe has indeed improved a lot. Although the customer flow is not high, it is not bad. At least Grandpa's daily expenses were enough, and the store recently hired 2 waiters. Xia Ying looked at Grandpa Shi's smiling face, and her heart suddenly became warm. Grandpa Shi was a very kind old man. Even when business was not doing well, he still lived frugally and donated his savings to the children in the orphanage. In her last life, the old-time cafe had to close down due to poor business. Since then, Xia Ying has never seen this kind and gentle grandfather again. He is in poor health, and his children are far away from him and don't care much about him. It is estimated that in his last life, Grandpa Shi had no source of income and must have lived a miserable life in his later years. That's why Xia Ying wanted to help him so much in this life. A kind and warm-hearted person deserves a better life. Xia Ying stood in front of the coffee shop from a distance, looking at the customers in the shop, and couldn't help but grin. Xia Ying was just about to turn around when she suddenly saw Jun Chenai. Jun Chenai didn't know how long he had been standing behind her, but she never noticed. Xia Ying subconsciously pushed back a few steps and looked at him with a frown. Why are you here? Aren't you here too? Jun Chenai shrugged. Xia Ying looked at Jun Chenai with suspicion, You're not following me, are you? Jun Chennai rolled his eyes. Is this young master so boring? Who knows? Xia Ying muttered. What are you muttering about? What are you doing here? Xia Ying changed the topic. I'm here to take a look. Jun Chennai's expression was a little unnatural, and he deliberately avoided Xia Ying's gaze. I just came to see if you, a girl who sneaked here, want to date you Lingfeng behind my back again. You also know Grandpa Shi? Xia Ying asked. Huh, Jun Chennai raised his eyebrows. What the hell? The manager of the coffee shop, do you know him too? Ah, that's right. Jun Chennai simply walked down the steps, and then stared at Xia Ying. Are you here to see this old man? Do not you? Xia Ying was stunned by him. Ah, yes. Jun Chennai's eyes were a little wandering. Xia Ying looked at Jun Chennai with suspicion. Why is this guy so strange? Last time you and Lingfeng came here to see this grandpa. Jun Chennai asked again. Yes, Xia Ying replied. Not a date. Jun Chennai asked again. Xia Ying was speechless. What date? Didn't you see that 11 Ju was here? 11 Ju. Jun Chennai raised his eyebrows. There was actually someone he didn't know about. How many people has this girl provoked behind her back? Lingfeng's butler is the person who often follows him. Oh. Why do I think you are so strange? Xia Ying looked at Jun Chennai. Jun Chennai coughed twice and pretended to be calm. What's weird? Why are you staring at me? Have you never seen a handsome guy? Xia Ying had a look on her face, and then shifted her gaze. There must be something wrong with this guy. Forget it, I'm too lazy to waste time with him talking nonsense here. Xia Ying turned around and left. Jun Chennai followed immediately. Why are you following me? Xia Ying asked. Who is following you? I can't go home. After Xia Ying was sent home by the driver, Jun Chennai's car turned around and arrived at the old-time cafe. Jun Chennai wore a mask and was fully armed, walking towards the coffee shop. Isn't he just an old man? He is so cute and lovable, and he will definitely get along with that old man successfully. What's so good about Lingfeng's ice face? Bring him here without fear of scaring the old man, really? Thank you, little cutie beloved person. More rewards. Xia Ying, didn't you say you weren't following me? Jun Chennai, can't I take a walk? Xia Ying. #. New week, please vote for recommendation. End of this chapter. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yun Suya. Chapter 180. Chapter 180. What you ask me to do cannot be seen by anyone? Xia Ying invited 11 Ju out, and 11 Ju obediently sat in the coffee shop drinking coffee, waiting for Xia Ying's arrival. Hey, I have to say, what's so good about this bitter thing? It's expensive and bitter. Why do humans like this taste? Zihu stuck out his tongue and looked at his little coffee with disgust, then secretly took out a piece of candy from his pocket, threw it into his mouth when others were not paying attention, and then revealed his bright spring face. Like a smile. After all, sugar is the most delicious. Just when 11 Ju was intoxicated by the sweet taste of candy, his cell phone rang. It was Lingfeng. 3 simple words, open the phone. 11 Ju lowered his head and called Lingfeng, who answered. Master, Sakura hasn't arrived yet. As 11 Ju was speaking, he caught a glimpse of a beautiful figure in front of the door. Xia Ying wore a mask and walked towards 11 Ju, holding a purple bag in her hand. 11 Ju quickly put the phone back into his pocket. Xia Ying came over, put the bag on the table, and said to 11 Ju with a smile, Hey, here it is for you. Huh, what is it? Zihu curiously opened a small corner and peeked inside. When he saw what it was, his eyes immediately lit up. Wow, they are all classic collector's editions. 11 Jew's rotten man's soul can no longer hold it back any longer and is burning brightly. 11 Jew cheered happily. Xia Ying was very satisfied when she saw 11 Jew's reaction. She knew he would like it. After 11 Jew smiled for a few seconds, he suddenly realized something was wrong. His smile froze and he stared at Xia Ying with a blank expression. How do you know I like this? Zihu looked at Xia Ying warily, looking like a little girl whose privacy was being spied on. Xia Ying smiled. Yu Lingfeng told me. 11 Jew's face darkened. How could master do this? Why are you saying everything? Does he still want to lose face? Xia Ying curled her lips, then stretched out her hand to move the bag towards her, deliberately teasing 11 Jew. Looking at your face, you don't want it, don't you? Don't. 11 Jew quickly reached out to stop Xia Ying, and then snatched it away. He immediately had a flattering expression on his face. Who said I don't want it anymore? There are so many books, but it's hard to get them. 11 Jew happily put it away and placed it next to his seat, fearing that Xia Ying would suddenly change her mind. Ha ha! Xia Ying couldn't help but smile when she saw 11 Jew's appearance. Hey, you suddenly bribed me with this. Could it be that the thing you asked me to do is very difficult? Is it shameful? 11 Jew became alert for no reason and leaned back silently. Xia Ying was amused by 11 Jew again. Why are you looking so nervous? I won't let you kill people and set things on fire. That's not too difficult. Nothing. 11 Jew waved his hand. So what do you want me to do for you? It is definitely not simple to be a pedant and a briber. Now, let me tell you briefly. Xia Ying supported her head with her hands, took out a pen and a piece of paper, and began to use simple drawings to describe her grand plan to 11 Jew. I want you to change your voice to Xiamenjian's, call her mother, and lure her out. Then I will find someone to capture her and bring her to the Xia family to confront her, and completely reveal the true identity of mother and daughter. Zihu took a deep breath, widened his eyes, and stared at Xia Ying in disbelief. You, what did you say? Thanks to the little cutie Nangxiang Lone Cat for the reward. End of this chapter.